Alright, I saw Lee Cronin's The Mummy, now we can finally talk about it. I know I'm a little bit late to the party here, and honestly, I thought that I had some really insightful things to say about this movie after seeing it. Come to find out that the entire internet collectively agrees that this is more or less just an Evil Dead movie wrapped in mummy bandages. Honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. Lee Cronin's retelling of this classic story is a complete assault on the senses and the emotions. It's disgusting and effective, but yes, it is a bit derivative. I find myself being harder on this movie the more that I think about it, but I have to factor in my initial experience, which was overwhelmingly positive. I did have zero to low expectations for this movie and came out genuinely excited and surprised with what I got. Lee Cronin once again does an excellent job immersing audiences with a very wholesome and familiar family dynamic. I fell in love with this family immediately, and it made it all the more heartbreaking when those bonds are fractured and put into question. The kills and the gore at play in this movie are incredibly effective and frankly difficult to stomach. Now, I've been an avid horror fan since I was like 5 years old. No, I'm not exaggerating. 5 years old. I don't say things like difficult to stomach very often. And I'm not saying that to like hype it up because I know everybody's got different tolerances and different opinions, and some people might think that this isn't even gross at all. And I know that there's just going to be a shit ton of people here that are going to say that this movie isn't all that gross because they think that that makes them cool. I thought this movie was nasty. The wince-inducing practical effects mixed with the very intentional camera work adds a necessary layer to the nastiness that isn't as common in the modern horror landscape. I also like the Egyptian elements that make this an actual mummy movie, even though there could be more of them. The specific things that they do here with the mummy lore were really interesting to me. And while I had a wonderful experience with the film in the theater, it's far from perfect. Like I said earlier, it's pretty derivative of more well-known movies. If you strip away the Egyptian aesthetic, we're more or less left with a pretty basic child possession story along the lines of The Conjuring or Evil Dead, as it's very popularly being compared to now. It's very clear to me that Lee Cronin really wanted to make another Evil Dead movie after his work on Evil Dead Rise, and he did. He just did it within the parameters of The Mummy. I think it does the work to differentiate itself and bring a little bit of flair, but I can't shake that feeling of familiarity. Real quick, I also wanted to talk about the parents. The performances were fine and added to that warm familial element, but oh my God, they're not very smart, nor are they particularly good parents. I might be in hot water for saying that, being a younger man with no kids, but god damn. So many things here could have been completely avoided if either of these parents actually fucking paid attention to their children for a second. But we can't do that in a horror movie, right? From what I observed, Lee Cronin's The Mummy set out to do two things. Build a family of wholesome characters that you can fall in love with, and then rip your fucking heart out with grotesque violence and great effects. For me, it absolutely delivered on both of those key things that it set out to achieve. But it does fall short in making any big swings or doing anything particularly new. I think this is the perfect movie to watch at home in the dark with a blanket and some popcorn, if you can keep it down. Definitely give it a chance when it's available to rent or when it hits streaming. Did you see Lee Cronin's The Mummy? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Like this video, share if you're feeling generous, and I'll see you soon with more horror content.